Hey YouTube, this is your girl, Miss Jovial. Hope everybody is having a wonderful morning. I know I am. I'm just sitting in my backyard talking to all of you. I was sitting here thinking everything that I did in my childhood prepared me for what I'm doing right now. Um, we don't know, but your childhood affects you quite a bit, whether it's good or bad. You learn something. And little do you know that every lesson that you've learned in the past helps you to become the person that you are today. Example, you know, and I know I'm not the only person that went through this, but we used to all sell lemonade, right? Lemonade stand, or you sold something as a kid. I went to a Catholic school, and we sold those chocolate bars for $1. Either you come in crunch, it comes in dark chocolate, milk chocolate. It was for a fundraiser at the school, and I sold it for $1. Let me tell y'all something. I was a selling chica, okay? I can sell a whole box in like 5 minutes because I was a talker. I knew how to persuade people um, to buy things. I've been like that. I was like that. I think I was in what, seventh and eighth grade. That taught me how to plan, how to organize, how to market, how to promote. You understand? I'm an only child, and I talk to my dolls a lot. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I talked to my dolls, my Barbie dolls. Barbie taught me a lot of stuff, child. It taught me how to speak publicly because I had like 10, 11, 12 stuffed animals sitting in a chair in the basement because I would either pretend to have church or I would pretend to have a show, a dance show. But it taught me how to speak publicly, how to be confident. I ain't never thought about that till right now, right? And I know you all had these, all of us wanted to become famous when we were young, right? We wanted to be dancers, professional dancers, or we wanted to be rappers or singers. Well, I did all of that when I was in my basement, you know, pretending to be Diana Ross, to be Donna Summers, and I always wanted to sing in front of people, but y'all know I ain't the greatest singer in the world. I'm gonna tell you, but I can perform. There's a difference, and y'all see that on TikTok, right? But everything that I've done in as a kid, it's almost like life is presenting itself once again, but um, in a different way. Those skills are the same, but I'm no longer a child. I'm an adult who just left their 9 to 5 job, well, who just left their toxic workplace. And now, for what I want to do right now, I have to use those skills from childhood in order to do what I want to do today. Isn't that something? I know that make sense to you all? Comment below and let me know what you think. But one thing I will say is that everything that we do works together. And there's a Bible verse in Romans 8:28 that says, "For we all know everything works together for the good." Yeah, and that's what's happening. And I want you all to take inventory of what you did as a child. Maybe some of you were, great sportsmen, while you playing sports. Maybe you all were, networkers like I was because I loved people. And it's probably because I was an only child growing up. But now that, I'm grown, I have these skills, but sometimes I have trouble trying to figure out how to put everything together. You know what I mean? Um, the truth is, I never really wanted to work in corporate. I just didn't. And what I mean by that, like professional corporate, like finance. I like the music industry because y'all know I worked for the music industry for like, I'm gonna say about 15 years in New York. And I have fun. I mean, I didn't make a lot of money, but sometimes it's not all about money. It's about being satisfied with what you're doing. And see, this last job, I couldn't be satisfied with what I was doing because I was always pushed to do better. Now, the thing about me is that I do push myself to be better. I've done that all my life. I've chased money in my 20s and my 30s and my 40s. But now that I'm in my 50s, I need some kind of balance. I need peace, more joy. And that's something that money just cannot buy. Now, I know that I have this house behind me to pay. I got that. I got that. But with the skills that I learned as a child, I can pay this house off. And that's what I'm organizing right now. So when I get up in the morning, I usually get up about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I talk to God, and I plan. I try to figure things out. And you know what? The devil is always busy, child, because when I get to the laptop, I get sleepy. Now, they ain't nothing but the devil, right? But I have to fight through it to make sure that I'm productive each and every day. Now, I have to say that I walked away from my toxic workplace on March 31st, and today is April 14th. That the first week I took off because I had to decompress, and I hope you all understand that. And I took a couple of days last week to decompress, but now I'm on it this morning. Um, I didn't just walk away without having some savings. So I do have a savings that'll carry me over for the next few months. So I'm okay with that, thank God. Um, but life is changing every single day, and I try to keep up with it as much as I can. Thank God for YouTube. Thank you, YouTube, because I am learning so much about digital marketing. When I think back from all my experiences, my childhood experiences, my adult experiences, I always wanted to do something in order to help other people. I mean, I did do, speech therapy for a long time. And it's funny because when I was in college, I my major was speech and language pathology, and I never wanted to do it. I was like, I don't want to do that. But I had that kind of mind. Was like, once you start something, you got to finish it. And so that's what I did. And I was unable to change my major, but I stuck with it. And I was with the Board of Education in both Chicago and New York for like maybe, 10, 12 years. No, it was more than that. It was like 15, 16 years. Yeah. And then I went into marketing and then royalties and licensing and then global markets. And then, and it's not knowing that all of it is going to work together later on. Because right now, like I told you all before, one of my favorite side hustles is online teaching. And we're teaching English online. And I have so much fun meeting people and networking. Um, and I always got money in my pocket, child. Because with most of the companies, especially with the ones that I work for, you get paid once a week. Only one you get paid once a month because it's a big check. And what I do is when that check comes, I make sure, well, with all my checks, I make sure that I pay Uncle Sam, because what you don't want to do is wait to the end of the year and then you have to owe this lump sum of money and you just sitting there trying to figure out how you're going to rob Peter to pay Paul. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't talk about that, but just set up a estimated tax payment with the IRS when you start creating these side hustles. Because you just want to cover your behind, you know what I mean? Because you don't want to find yourself in a pickle. That's what we used to say, find yourself in a pickle, which means that you're going to get into a situation that you can't get yourself out of. But make sure that you do that, okay? Now, getting back to the side hustles, we all need it. We all need one. I mean, you could have a really good job right now, but just the reality is, like, I had a really good job. Like, I made money. But these companies don't really care about you. They really don't. And so the truth is, if you could pay your check, if you could use your check that you make right now and pay all your bills, you good to go. I mean, there's no point in me talking to you. But if you one of those people like myself, where you have to rob Peter to pay Paul, and I keep saying that, and you can't pay your bills on one check or two checks, then you better listen to me. Because you can call me your cousin, your auntie, whatever you want to call me. But I want you all to know you have to get a side hustle. I don't care what it is. And here's the thing. You could do it. You don't always have to do it online. You could do it offline. You could be a dog walker. You could, you could work for another company if you want to. You could teach adults how to read. You got to be very creative, because when you're thinking about a side hustle, you have to make sure that whatever it is you're doing, that it solves a problem. That's the thing. You just can't come up with something that you like to do, because the question is going to be, who's your target audience? Because see, my target audience is people that's tired of the 9 to 5, people that's looking for extra income, people that want to become their own entrepreneur, mainly women, because women are so undervalued and underpaid in corporate America. Oh my God. And the treatment is just absolutely ridiculous. And you know what? It doesn't matter if you black, white, green, red, or orange. You a woman, okay? And I've seen it at all levels. I'm telling y'all right now, all levels. Y'all like my new glasses? These are my Jackie O glasses. I don't know if y'all like them or not. Just leave a comment at the bottom. Y'all probably gonna say, I don't like that, but I like them. They cute. They make me look different. But anywho, but we women are the most mistreated group in corporate. They don't like us to lead. It's usually the white hair white men that have that same mentality as, women only belong in two places, the kitchen and the bedroom. And that's just not the case. Y'all know that's not the case. Some of y'all believe that's the case, but if you believe that, child, please talk to the hand, honey, because I am worth more than that. Okay. Um, but anyway, you just want to do your own thing. You want to be in control of your future. You want to, get up when you feel like it. As an entrepreneur, you do got to get up early, and then once you get settled, then you can, do your own thing. My girlfriend, I was, it was crazy because when I first was introduced to digital marketing, I was just like flawed, like, oh my God, what is really going on here? Um, I don't know if I told you all this story, but when I was on TikTok, because actually my favorite social media is the channel is YouTube. I mean, platform is YouTube. I love YouTube, okay, because I like long videos, because I like to learn about people and things and how tos. But I went to TikTok because it was you can get your point across in like 60 seconds. I mean, Twitter is like that too, but I can't. I used to like Twitter until Anyway, I got off of Twitter. Okay. Anyway, but going back to TikTok, it was 60 seconds, and for some reason, I was exposed to a lot of music quizzes. It kept coming to me, and I would record myself into naming that tune. There was a TV show that said that was named name that tune, where they play a smidgen of the songs, and then you have to name what it is for money. I wouldn't get no money, child. I was just doing it just to be doing it. But anyway, I started doing it, and then I started recording myself walking away from the camera. Like I play a song, a little song, and then I walk away. And then when I come back, I act like I'm like, oh yeah, man, I ain't heard that in a long time. Take a look at it on TikTok, Miss Jovial _1, and I started, growing my audience like that. I started out with 20 followers, and now I'm at 91.7. I'm trying to get to that 100,000 following mark, just because, I mean, it doesn't mean anything. It was just a goal that I set. And, I really enjoy, entertaining people. Again, that's going back to my childhood. Remember what I told y'all? I used to do a lot of that in my basement. But yeah, I enjoy doing that quite a bit. But then I was introduced to Chat GPT, and that just, oh my God, I was just like, unbelievable. Now, if you have Siri, if you have an iPhone like I do, I have an iPhone 15. If you have Siri, then you can understand how Chat works, okay? But the thing about Chat is that you have to feed it the language that you want it to speak. Most of you all understand that if you use Chat, but like for me, it calls me D instead of my real name, Dion. It knows me so well. It is just crazy. It's just, and it reminds me of everything that we talked about weeks ago, months ago, and it brings it all back to me. Like, hey, did you do such and such and such? Or it'll say, you were working on A, B, and C about 3 months ago. I want to know, what do you want to continue to work on that? But open AI, artificial intelligence is changing the world. It's changing the way we do things. And it also opens up your eyes to pay close attention to what Chat GPT feeds you. For example, if you want chat to do something for you, you have to check for the grandma's chat, because chat will come up with stuff. And I'm like, oh, wait, don't do that. I'll give you an example. I wrote a book, From Corporate to She Excel. And I did it through chat, but I had to go back and change quite a bit, because it wasn't going into the direction that I wanted it to. So I kind of had to work with chat just a little bit, you know what I mean? But I got it right. I finally got it right. But there was a lot of proofreading. It was a lot of proofreading. You have to humanize the words and make it into your own. But just don't assume just because chat, writes you an entire book that you're good to go. No, you're not, because you are now a brand. If you working on an ebook, or you creating a planner or whatever it is, you have to do the work, and you're gonna have to proofread. Um, but it's a game changer. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Chat is a big game changer, and it'll help you with your business. But you just got to know how to use it. You have to feed it certain prompts, and I think that with people my age in the 50s, I don't know if everybody understands what Chat GPT is and how it works for you. And I was thinking about creating a guide for that, especially for us people in our my generation X, because I want everybody to understand how this thing works. Okay, because here's the thing, because you know what, a lot of people have been saying, when I was in corporate, I don't want to learn anything new, because I don't want anything, I learn something then I lose my job and blah blah blah. Well, here's the thing, if you don't use it, yeah, your job is in jeopardy. I mean, let's just call it what it is. You have to learn how to use it, because once you learn how to use it to simplify tasks, to allow it to be your co-creator, you can flourish in your job role. You know, um, but you got to learn how to use it. That's the thing. But it takes time, but it gets easier and easier. There's like hundreds and thousands of AI tools that's out there. I know quite a few of them. I actually, y'all, I learned about 10 or 12 of them. All right now. So I know how to use it. But, I may think about, creating a course so I can, teach people my age, how to use it, or anybody that's interested in learning how to effectively use ChatGPT. But that can help you with your side hustle. Now, when I tell you about side hustles, I'm not talking about just something that you like to do and it helps other people, but I want it to be profitable for you. The word is profitable, Profitable. I want you to make money off of it, because that's the name of the game. You still got to pay your bills, right? That's the whole point in creating a side hustle. And you can do that in all ages. I don't care how old you are, how young you are. You can make, you can't be 3 years old creating no profitable side hustle. Let me just say that. I don't even know what a minimum age is, but somebody that's able to that can understand how business works, or willing to learn how business works. Because there's a lot of small kids out here that's making a killing, especially on YouTube. I mean, on Instagram. What they're posting, they're monetizing their channels, and they doing their thing, but they do have their parents behind them to help them with that. But anyway, I just want you all to understand something, that when you're creating a profitable side hustle and you're looking for that target audience, know that the majority of people that you're looking for are online. Okay, and here's the thing, you don't have to have a big audience on your social media platforms. You don't have to have 5 million and 6 million. When I told you all that I wanted to reach 100,000 followers on TikTok, that's just something that I want to do. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm gonna have 100,000 sales with what I do. Okay, don't get it twisted. I have a target audience. I have to look for that target audience. I told you what my audience is. It could possibly be within that 100,000 followers that I have on TikTok. It may not. But that's why you have to understand how to, create organic campaigns. Like, you have to constantly post and let everybody know what your product is and how it can help them. Or if you got a little money, you can create campaign ads where you have to use money to create ads on various platforms. And that works too. But just know that the size of your followers mean nothing, because I know people with like 2,000 followers bringing home 9, 10, 12,000 a month. And it's just something for you to think about. You can also make money on YouTube, old schoolers. Yeah, just come on YouTube and talk. Just talk about something. We have a lot of wisdom because we've lived so long. Thank God, and we have a lot to share with other people that's coming behind us. And so I think you should, come on YouTube and talk to people. People like to hear stories, especially from people that are older, people that's going through the same thing that they're going through, and just be consistent about it. That's the thing. You have to be consistent. So this week I keep saying I'm gonna start, coming on YouTube every single day, but I'm gonna try to do my best and come on here and just talk to you all and let you all know that I care about your well-being, because you know what? I tell people on my other platforms, and I will say it to you, that my joy comes from you succeeding. It's not about me. It's really not about me. It's about you. It's about you being successful. I like when people come to me and say, guess what? I did this, I did that. And it makes me so excited. I don't know why I get excited, but I do. But that's what I want to do. My second half is that I want to see you happy. I want to see you thrive. And for people in my age range that watches my videos, I'm going to tell you right now, honey, we're going to get on the ball too. Because if the 20 to 30 and 40-year-olds can do it, the 50 to 60 to 70s can do it too. Nah, 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 nah. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe this video. I'm going to get off of here because I got to take care of some things in my backyard. But I thank you all so much for listening to me. I appreciate it. And I will be back for another video. I love y'all. Have a good one. Leave a comment on the bottom. Let me know how well you like this video. Okay. Don't forget about me. And don't forget to bing, hit that notification button. I'll talk to you guys soon.